Alrighty, y'all. How you going? We're looking at 12 things Aussies do that are utterly unique. Coming in at number one, whinge when tourist towns get too many tourists. It's counterproductive to make a town so inviting for tourists that they flock to it and clog up the roads, beaches, and services to the point where the locals can't go about their normal business. Only in Australia will you see idyllic coastal townsfolk ensuring the runway of their local airstrip isn't widened to allow Jetstar and Virgin to fly in more tourists. The locals want your business, but please don't come all at once. Pace yourselves. Yeah, that one is always about balance, right? I mean, I'm no expert, but I feel like as a town, being a tourist town, it's kind of a cool thing because you get people to come and enjoy the experience of being there and get this, cool reputation for being loved, worldwide or whatever. And then, of course, a lot of people coming to, support businesses there, get a lot of money flowing in externally, so in other words, more than just the local population. I feel like that's a good thing, right? But of course, the flip side to that is it can get crowded. And then if you have a tourist town that's on the smaller side and you get a rush of visitors, it's, infrastructure starts to crumble, right? Traffic jams, you can't get a seat at your favorite restaurant, whatever the story is. I feel like that could go for anywhere, though. I'm not sure that's uniquely Australian. I mean, any small town in most countries, I'm sure, if I got overwhelmed with tourists, would be mixed feelings of kind of annoyance, right? Like, oh my God, there's too many people here. Number two, overtaking a left lane. So let me see. This is backwards for me. That would be, so the fast lane in Australia, because you guys drive on the left side, that would be the right lane then. Far right would be the fast lane. Passing on the left would be weird. That would be, for me, like left lane being the fast lane, right lane being the slow lane. That would be like someone passing you on the right, which would be weird. That can be dangerous. It's not supposed to happen, right? You're only supposed to get passed on the left. In this case, you're only supposed to get passed on the right. So I'm not sure if they're saying that happens a lot here or if that's normal there. Maybe you would like to weigh in on that. Vegemite scrolls. What? Oh, man, I've been overwhelmed with so much food knowledge, in A, foods we've tried, and then, of course, B, foods we've seen in books, magazines, learned from you guys in comments and mail time and stuff. Vegemite scrolls, I'm sure we've seen before, but it's not ringing a bell at this second, but I know there's so much you can do with Vegemite. It's very versatile. I still think Vegemite pizza is the weirdest thing I've ever heard of, though. That can't be good. This might be good, though. It's almost like a cinnamon roll, but with Vegemite. Be kind of weird, but kind of good. Super cheap and super tasty. Can't argue with that. Number four, 2 Up. Hey, I know about this. This is coming up, right? Or no, it's not on Australia Day. Sorry, I got them mixed up. Australia Day is coming up. In April is Anzac Day. That is when 2 Up is relevant. Yes, we've gotten a few of these in mail time, but as you all know, 2 coins launched in the air. Punters bet on how the coins fall, heads or tails. I think it's kind of fun. And yes, I would have to agree that is uniquely Australian. I'd never heard of it at all until this channel. Muck-up Day, schoolies, and toolies. America may have its spring break, but nothing beats a train wreck that is schoolies. Following Muck-up Day, where students test the boundaries of decencies and legal limits to binge drink, usually on the Gold Coast, and generally make an absolute mess of themselves in the name of stress relief after a full-on exam period. Toolies are the schoolies who have not learned their lesson and made to be wearing ankle bracelets. That's hilarious. I never thought of that. You guys totally have a different version of spring break then. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen maybe spring break in movies or something wherever you're watching from if you're outside of America. Yeah, spring break is a big deal. Everyone goes crazy and, there's a lot of destinations, but typically Florida, especially like Miami, Florida, would be the spot to go. And it's funny because Gold Coast of course, Queensland is like sort of like Miami, Florida. It's it's the same vibe within the country, right? Miami, Florida to the U.S. is Gold Coast to Australia. I think that's fair to say. So that is pretty interesting. I never knew about schoolies and Muck-up Day. That is funny. Bunning sausage sizzle. This is still on my list of things I want to try. This is one thing I'm really jealous of. Like, not gonna lie. I don't know why, our stores, our home improvement stores like Home Depot or Lowe's, I don't know why they don't do this. It is such a cool idea, especially because the charity thing And then, of course, I mean, come on, you come out of the store or maybe even pregame before the store, you want a good snack, right? Nothing beats a grilled sausage sizzle or, you know, a snag with onions on it. Like, that sounds damn good, doesn't it? This says they actually have this in New Zealand as well. Is that true? Do they have Bunnings in New Zealand? And, of course, the sausage sizzles, I'm sure they have the food. And number 7, waving on the Nullarbor Plain. Australia's a bloody big country. Yeah, it is. It's one of the longest straight roads in the world, which is crazy because that Nullarbor Plain is just wild. I have seen videos on that. I mean, it's just totally straight and like mostly flat, right? And there's no trees or anything. Dare I say dangerous? Like you feel like you could lose your focus and kind of like be daydreaming heavily because, or maybe even fall asleep because there's just no break into action. You're almost like on one of those, it's like a screensaver where you're just going and it's like a digital rendering of the same scene, like it doesn't change. It's kind of a weird way to describe it, but I feel like it's accurate. Essentially dangerously boring, right? But this is interesting. It says, not surprising that those who cross it between Western Australia and South Australia are made of a different kind of stock. It's tradition to wave at every car, van, combi? What is that? Dude on a bicycle and truck which passes you on a relentless track, almost like a rite of passage. Just remember that when you hit New South Wales, because of the people on these roads will think you're weird or trying to wave them down for a flat tire or something. So the wave ends at the border of New South Wales. Gotcha. So the only wave I know is the Jeep wave. That is definitely a thing. But you know what? There's also the Nullarbor wave. I suppose that'd be good because it might feel really lonely and desolate out there, and seeing a car passing by and giving them a wave would give you a sense of like, okay, I'm not the only one out here. Number 8, Mainies, a typical practice reserved almost entirely for large groups of young males, especially in country areas, but also becoming popular in busy shopping and late-night dining strips, where said males pile into a car, usually with P plates. Doesn't that mean that's like like learners or like early license holders, right? I think, and drive up and down the main street of an area checking out the local talent and passing time. If they have a V8 engine or have the music pumping, they believe this may get them extra points among the local clientele. Unafraid of curfews, they are often harmless but do irritate local law enforcement. Okay, so it's basically a bunch of teenage guys screwing around in a car, like a night on the town? I don't know. Care to elaborate? Yeah, nah. Number 9. It may seem like a contradiction in the terms, but they use this in Australia and New Zealand as well. I don't know. Maybe I was Australian in a different life because a lot of Australian sayings that I've discovered on this channel with this community, I honestly said in my normal life from a young age. Maybe not, yeah, nah, but I've said that before, probably like, at least from teenager on up into adulthood. So that's kind of interesting. No worries. A lot of people say that's Australian, but I've been saying no worries, since I was like little, like really, really little. And I always thought that was interesting as well. So I got some Aussie slang snuck into to my language. Shortening words, yes, this is about as Aussie as it gets, and it's, I would guess you could say uniquely Aussie just in the way they do it. I mean, everywhere seems to have some sort of slang in a lot of different regions. We certainly have a lot of slang here in the United States as well, but shortening words, the way they do it in Australia is definitely unique. I will say that. Yeah, calling a liquor shop bottle-o. Yeah, we got slang here, but you're not going to hear bottle-o. Number 11, dressing well for the races, but behaving like a muppet. Trust Aussies to make an effort to look swanky in suits and fascinators for an event with Royal in the title, only to end up face first in a bin by 4 p.m. Sadly, it's become another tradition of people letting alcohol and bad luck get the better of them. Silly punters. So in other words, yeah, it doesn't matter what you're wearing. Business casual, t-shirt and jeans, or black tie. Gotta get pissed. Number 12, barefoot bowls. I don't really think this is endorsed by proper lawn bowls enthusiasts, but it is a way of getting the younger crowd in where they can feel the grass between their toes and hope someone doesn't drop one on their exposed feet. Lawn bowls. No shoes. Get into it. It's Australian. This would be fun to look up, actually. I wonder if there's videos on this. I've never really lawn bowled. I've played other games, at social events out in a lawn in grass. And I will say this. I've been actually meaning to do something on this lately as well, the whole barefoot thing, because I saw some shorts, like YouTube Shorts video about Like in New Zealand, people were all over like the supermarket in no shoes, right? Just like totally bare feet. And I know this is a thing in Australia as well. And I think that's very fascinating. I don't think I could do it because I haven't been bare feet enough. I feel like my feet are too sensitive, or like I would step on something. I understand that if the store is clean, then you're safe, but it's like a mental thing. I feel like I'd be vulnerable. But in theory, it sounds kind of cool. I was going to say the only place Americans might be barefoot where it's semi-common would be in, your own yard. So when it's a nice day out, it's sunny, and, the grass is warm and nicely cut and soft, right? It feels great to be barefoot. So I've definitely done that before. But I've never been barefoot in a store, and I'm pretty sure if I did, I would get the weirdest freaking looks ever, maybe even kicked out. Because if you didn't know, a lot of stores, have this famous sign that's on a lot of establishments. It says, no shoes, no shirt, no service. Anywho, y'all, I hope you enjoyed this quick dive into stuff that is uniquely Aussie. But you know what? I feel like it's a lot more than 12. And, we've brushed over stuff like this here and there over the last couple years. But I would really love to hear from you in this comment section what we didn't see here. Tell me what is uniquely Aussie. Really dig deep, see if we can come up with more than this list. Some of these were really cool. Some of these were a little bland. I feel like Australia is full of a lot of unique things that Americans and other people elsewhere would be kind of like mind blown. Like, what? Throw a like on there if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to be part of this amazing community. My name is Ian. You watched the IWrocker. Until next time, y'all. Catch you later.